Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to this edition of SportsView on nearmedia.tv. And the usual email, if you want to join in the studio live discussion with us for the next 2 hours or so, you can email us in, give us your email, and we'll send you the link. And info@nearmedia.tv is our email, and we'll send you the link for you to come in. And we'll be only happy to have you in the studio to have a discussion, discuss all the action of some of the sporting, I suppose, some of the sporting headlines from today. And you can see up there on our screen, that's our email, info@nearmedia.tv. And for your comments as well, we'd love to have them. We'd love to have you along with us. We have a lot of subjects and sporting news to get through because, carrying on from last night, we have the third round of the US Open Golf, which is underway now for a while. We'll also be looking at the Major Classic for the ladies, and our own Leona Maguire is doing extremely well. We'll also be looking later on in the programme at the two quarterfinals that were played today in Thurles in the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championships. That was between Galway and Cork at quarter-2, and followed by Wexford and Clare at quarter-4. I'm sure some of you already have already been watching those programs. And of course, I must kneel my colours to the mast. I'm bitterly disappointed as being a Cork man, but anyway, look, we wish them well for the future, and we wish Galway all success. But I did a Trojan, I suppose, struggle against Limerick in the semi-final, and Clare will be playing Kilkenny in the other semi-final. So it's down to the last four in the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship. We wish all four of them the very best of luck. But I'll tell you, Limerick will be hard to shift. There's no doubt about that, you know. And anyway, as I was saying, this is SportsView here on nearmedia.tv. Now, as I say, we'll be playing the hurling and the golf. We'll be looking at the Canadian Grand Prix in Formula One. It's another practice day. We'll be telling you what happened there. Rain is the order there. We'll be looking at the two grass courts tournament in tennis, the warm-up tournaments for Wimbledon, which is coming up at the end of the month. And we had another withdrawal today from Wimbledon. We'll give you all the news on that later on. We'll be looking at rugby union briefly as well. The English Premiership was decided today in rugby. The United Rugby Championship final is being contested between the Bulls and the Stormers from South Africa. Last time I looked, the Bulls were 7-0 in the lead, but we'll keep you up to date on that as well. And I know in boxing today, Ricky Hatton is making a comeback in November. I have no idea why he's doing that. I have no idea. I saw some commentary on it. We'll bring the latest in that, but if it's only for the money, I hope it's not. I wish him well, but I have my doubts about Ricky because he had some bad beatings in his career, some very, very serious knockouts and serious boxing matches, and I just don't know what the wisdom is in Ricky Hatton coming back. I don't really know what he has to prove. I don't know that either, but we'll see, and we'll follow that story. And of course, Fury has intimated, even though I said he was retired, that he will fight again. I think, look, money talks really, and I think that the fight that's coming up between what's his name, Joshua and Usyk, Fury will probably, in all probability, fight the winner of that. Could be Joshua, it could be Ireland. It's 50-50 contest, and we'll see of that, you know. That's in the boxing news. But to begin with, I suppose we were at the top of the program. We'll just touch on golf for the time being now. As we came on air, just at where it's 2020 at 8:20 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, Irish time here. If you're watching from abroad, the state of play in the US Open Golf was that Morikawa was. I'm just picking out a few, and not all of them. We'll give you an up-to-date later on in the show, and you can feel free to join in as well. He was at -5, Rory McIlroy was at -4. And then we had picked out a few golfers at the beginning of the US Open ourselves here in SportsView. There are personal choices of mine just to keep an eye on. And one of them was Adam Scott, who is presently at +4. Seamus Power is even par at the moment. Justin Thomas, who is at +3. Jordan Spieth is at +3. And then the other three golfers that we had added onto them that we were keeping an eye on did not make the cut. Shane Lowry was one very, very, very disappointing tournament for Shane Lowry that he's not there for the last 2 days, which, I don't know. Phil Mickelson, of course, we were keeping an eye on for different reasons, but we didn't expect it. But Phil, of course, didn't make the cut, and Kevin we were keeping an eye on as well. We just picked out those here on the show to keep, I suppose, an interest like anything else. If you're watching, you'll just have a tick behind those. Quite a lot of high-profile golfers didn't make the cut, but anyway, it's going to be turning into a classic by all accounts, and also the ladies' Major Classic, the LPGA, under the auspices of the LPGA, is ongoing as well at the moment, and as of 8:20 Greenwich Mean Time here in this country, the state of play in that competition was that Kupko from the United States was at -15, Nelly Korda was at -12, and Minjee Lee and Lexi Thompson were on -11. Lydia Ko was at -10, and as well as Leona Maguire, her own Leona Maguire, was at -10. So she's joined fourth at the moment. She's doing extremely well. She's up and down, but she's doing extremely well. Delighted for her, because she's a fantastic attitude, not because she's Irish or anything, or because she's from Ireland and we're not, but she's a lovely temperament, in my opinion. And we'll take an interview with her now later on as well in the show, But I suppose we're going to begin on the show tonight with the two hurling quarterfinals that were played today in Thurles. Now, obviously, in the first match, Cork were playing Galway. There weren't any raging hot favourites between Cork and Galway in this match. Cork were slightly fancied to beat Galway, but not by a whole lot. And because obviously those two teams, Galway and Cork, in my opinion, had what we call, they don't have a consistency about them. They're hot and cold. They can be up, they can be fantastic. Now, obviously, going in Cork, first of all, they had disastrous start to the championship. The two strongest teams in Munster, which contested the Munster final, that is Limerick and Clare, really destroyed Cork. They went down and they beat Waterford in the third round in the round robin in Munster's Cork. They beat Waterford, a good win over Waterford. I don't know how good Waterford were. They proved to flatter, to deceive, I suppose would be a kind word. Cork themselves, then, there was no contest against Tipperary, who proved to be, for a county like Tipperary, obviously they're in transition phase in that county, as well as Cork are, there's no doubt about that. But then they beat, when you look at it, when you analyse it coldly, hurling-wise, they beat Waterford, who were poor. They beat Tipperary, who were very poor. Then they beat Antrim in the preliminary quarter-final in Corrigan Park. Made hard work over, but they were expected to beat. So when you look at what Cork, the form Cork had coming into today, if you want to be analytical about it, you wouldn't be putting your house on them. I did think that they had turned the corner when they did make a good fist of finishing in that third playoff vital spot in Munster. I really did. But the team itself needs huge freshening up. The backroom team behind that Cork team, they need to be a complete clear out of the backroom team, in my opinion. It's been crying out for over a year. They had a disastrous All-Ireland final last year, followed by a disastrous league final this year. Disaster against Limerick again in the first round, disaster against Clare, and really you cannot really have any faith in the backroom team to improve things. Now, in saying that, to balance it on the other side of the coin, in Cork's case, I really believe they have 6 or 7 fantastically young players that they can build for the future around. These players now have got experience playing in the last year and this year on the team. and they can draft in a few more of the young team when the league gets going again. And I think they have the nucleus of a really exciting team, exciting times ahead. It will take them a while, but they would have to be patient as well. But I think in Cork's case, there's no doubt about it. They do have, as I said, 7 or 8 players who are ready, and they've been blooded, as they say. And I think they have enough young players around the county to come in and augment that experience that they got in the last year or two. But that's only my opinion. If we want yours as well, and we want you to come on here and comment and make your comments, and we'll read them out for you. Anyway, that's the Cork Galway match today. And of course, people for those of you missed it, the final score in it was Galway 2-19, which is 2 goals and 19 points, which is 25 points. Cork 121, which is 24 points. So the 2 goals that Cork gave away, well, honestly, I mean, they could have been prevented, both of them, you know. There's no way in the world that they would have any back what their sort would leave the second goal going. That player would have been thrown over the line way back and a free given instead of a goal. But I mean, that's my opinion. In the second semi-final, then, Clare had a fantastic win against Wexford. 3-14 for Wexford and 124 for Clare, you know, and they came good in the end in Clare's case. And of course, in the Galway Cork match, just getting back to the statistics in the Galway Cork match, for Galway, Conor Whelan scored a goal and 2 points. Mannion and Cooney scored 4 points each, and Grealish got a goal with a speculative shot from a way out that the Cork goalkeeper left into the net, and really, it was shocking goalkeeping. And then Joe Cooney and Burke at 2 points each for Galway, the highest scoring from Cork. On Cork's side in the match, young Shane Kingston was not young anymore, with a goal and 2. Pat Horgan 4 points, he came on as a sub, second highest scorer. Fitzgibbon, Cadigan, who came on, Coleman and O'Flynn, they had 3 points each. They were really, we got a very, very, very poor return from the forwards that were picked to begin the game. Again, I have no idea what the selectors are looking at in training. They're obviously looking at something that is akin to being on top of Mars. I don't know, but anyway, really, that's the end of the road for that Cork team, and hopefully for the backroom staff as well. Look, they did the best they could, but well, I don't know whether they did the best they could. It's for another day, that discussion. And the Clare Wexford match, then Peter Duggan got 5 points, and Kelly got 4 points. Alan Shanahan came on as a sub and got a goal and 2 points. They really, and young Meehan came on, he got 2 points. He got a goal and 4 points out of the subs. I think got a goal and 5 points. Really and truly, I mean, Clare have strengthened depth, as proved today. People may not give them the credit that is due them, not because I live in the county. There's a fantastic credit due to that team, that Clare team, you know. And I mean, Westwood really, really did put it up to them for a long, long stretches in the match. I saw most of the match myself. And Lee Chin got a goal in 8 points, and Jack O'Connor got another goal as well. That's Lee Chin, and so I mean, there were the 3, 8, and then 6 more points and 3s and 65s. But really, Wexford and Cork's championship is finished now for another year, so we're down to the last 4. We're down to Limerick and Galway in one semi-final, and Kilkenny and Clare in the other semi-final. Something to look forward to, no doubt about it, you know. And if you want to contact us in here in the studio, you can see the details up on our SportsView page, up on our just below me there, as you're looking at it. Our email is info@learnmedia.tv for all your comments. And if you want to join in and with the discussion on anything sporting, join in. All you need to do is send us your email. We'll send you the link. You can click on the link and you're straight into the studio with myself. There's no need to be intimidated. We're just having a chat. I said we're streaming out live on our YouTube channel, on my Facebook page, I think, and on Mary Hunn's Facebook page, and on I think Zarza on Twitter. I'm not too sure, but anyway, you'll find us in one of them anyway on the platforms. We hope you're enjoying it and you'll stay with us for the next hour or so. Now, as I said, we're going to go back to golf. We're going to go back first of all to the Mesure Classic, and we're going to take a little. I suppose in case people missed it, we're going to go back there to, I suppose, have Leona Maguire, who was interviewed, I think, after the first round, and as we know now, she's playing the third round today. But we'll just go back and we'll see what Leona had to say on the what let's say on her what's the word I'm looking for, on her oh God, her interview that she gave
All right, I'm ready to go.
to
All right,
uh,
here's Leona
to us
Maguire
here,
for
and
second round of our LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Can you just tell me some of the highlights of the round and what was working really well for you today?
Yeah, I mean, give myself a lot of chances today. I think it was a little easier this morning. Not quite as windy as yesterday, which was pretty nice. It was kind of hanging on yesterday, so didn't quite take advantage of the par fives as well as I would have liked, but did a nice birdie on two, and that kind of got the round going.
What do you need to do to take advantage of those par fives, just moving forward, or what
I
didn't you
just
do?
hit it closer. I think I could reach a couple of them today, and then yeah, just didn't get my wide shots close enough. So go work on that this afternoon, and hopefully get those dialed in for the weekend.
What were some of the challenges out there today? I know you said the wind died off, so but what were some of the other challenges on the course?
The wind is swirly, so it's changing direction. So you
Mhm.
kind of have to be patient and sort of trust the wind is where you think it is with all the trees and stuff. So definitely yesterday afternoon it was a lot tougher. It was very swirly, but yeah, just trying to stay patient, trying to hit a lot of fairways, a lot of greens.
Okay, Will has a couple questions for you back here.
Hey, Leona. So I'm doing a side feature on you and just sort of your return here because you had a really good tournament here last year. Obviously, fell by two shots to Nelly last year. Then Solheim happened, sort of took the golf world by storm. Got your first win in February. So, sort of, what's your whole year been like since you were last here? What's it been like?
Yeah, it's been busy. Yeah, obviously at Solheim, had the Olympics, got my first win at the start of the year. So yeah, I mean this week last year was a big confidence booster for me. Played some really great golf here and went toe to toe with Nelly, who then became world number one the next week. So I knew my game was in really good shape when I could do that. So yeah, gave me a lot of confidence sort of leading on from that.
Yeah, and I remember we spoke last year how this course sort of reminded you of courses back home. Does that sort of hold true again coming back here for a second time?
Yeah, 100%. It's very green with all the trees. The wind, obviously, yesterday reminded me of home a little bit, and it's in such great shape. It's really nice to come to a golf course that the greens are in as good a shape as they are here. It's a little softer, which again sets up a lot of chances. But I think if it stays hot and a little bit windy, they'll dry out as the week goes on.
Yeah, and then I know another thing that's probably familiar is your sister's here. I know she doesn't travel with you every single week anymore, but how nice is it to have her here? And does that give another familiarity aspect to it?
Yeah, 100%. It's always nice having her out on the road. She's been out for a few weeks now, so this week and then next week at KPMG she'll be out. So yeah, having her walking along, supporting me, it's always a benefit.
And then you said that this week sort of spurred your confidence last year. This tournament sort of spurred your confidence going in. I mean, how important is that confidence? Finding it again heading into KPMG next week.
Yeah, it's huge. I think it'll be a very different test next week at Congressional, but this week's about trying to go as low as possible. So getting those, it'll be really good for dialing in sort of the wedges and irons, and ultimately it's going to come down to who puts the best. I think over the weekend. So heading into a major, the better you're putting, that can only be a good thing.
Appreciate it, Leona. Thank you.
Thank you.
that of course was our own Leona Maguire there, and which I suppose when you think about it, I mean it was quite an enlightening program. A blast of music in there as well, just in case to keep you on your toes. But anyway, that was Leona Maguire, who was, as I said, in joint fourth position, just for 3 or 4 shots off the lead now, and she's doing extremely well. I'm delighted to see it, and a very nice person and a great, lovely temperament, I think, for the game because I said these individual games are It's all about confidence, self-confidence. It's all about attitude. It's all about getting your head right in the right place because you only have yourself to fall back on. And I think that she's potential to do very well. You know, she's still a young lady, so we wish her the very best. We'll keep you abreast of that later on in the show as well. You know, on the golf. Now, if you want to join us in here in the studio, don't forget that you can. Send us an email up on the screen there. It's info@learnmedia.tv, info@learnmedia.tv for all your comments and suggestions. You can that's the email you need. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well. That's our channel. Subscribe to our channel. And also your comments. And if you want to join us here, send us your details on that email of your own email, and we will send you a link to the studio. And you can join in anytime you want in the studio. So the email is info@theirmedia.tv. Thank you. And now, also, I suppose, coming up in the show, we'll be going over later on to the golf, the US Open golf, and we will see that coming up later on. But we'll take a little break and for these messages from learmedia.tv. So the bell was ringing there. I hope you all heard that bell ring. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We want to get it up to 1,000 subscribers. We're very new on the block. We're learning as we go along. That's why we're open for all suggestions we can get from you. That is, and also any information you want to from us, you can send us in an email. Send us in an email here into the studio. We will read out your email, of course, in your comments. You know, send out your email into the studio. And the email you need is info@learnmedia.tv. Info@learnmedia.tv is our email in here to the studio. If you want to join in the program, it's the same email with your own details, and we can send you a link, and you can come straight into the studio, remotely speaking, and join in on the discussion. And there you go. Now, I suppose, as I said, we're keeping an eye on the US Open, and obviously Rory McIlroy is a flavour of the day. Morikawa was the person we were. He was top of the leaderboard there 20 minutes ago, but we'll bring you up to date now later on with that as well. You know, with the thing. Also, just briefly speaking, on the Canadian side, the Canadian Grand Prix Formula One is over in Canada this weekend. And it was pretty much inclement weather there, so to speak, raining. And after the third practice, the top five after the third practice, and you can get all the information later on the show, and then we'll give you the final findings on the show. But before, just as we were coming to air, I was looking on the web pages, sporting pages, and the top five after the third practice was Alonso, Gatly, Vettel, Ocon, and Ricciardo. They were the top five. I wonder will we have a lot of change in that? I suppose it's right for change. There's no doubt about that, you know. And now getting back to the US Open, which is ongoing in Brookline, and as I said, we're disappointment here on SportsView and amongst all golfing things when that Shane Lowry failed to make the cut for the final 2 days, but we still have Seamus Power in the field. We were following a few golfers, and quite a few of them didn't make the cut, including Phil Mickelson, Kevin, and Shane Lowry. Now, I was not surprised about Phil Mickelson not making it, you know. Just Phil like us at the veteran stage, but I was surprised that Shane didn't make it, didn't make a better effort in the thing. But that's the game of golf for you. It can be maddening as well, as I said. But anyway, Rory McIlroy is a flavour of the month there on it, and Rory McIlroy, as I said, is doing very well because last weekend he competed well, so much so that he actually won the Canadian Open. That is the Canadian Open, the RBC Canadian Open, to give it its proper name. That's Rory McIlroy. He won that, And of course, Justin Thomas played very well, and Tony Finau played very well in that competition as well, and Ryan close as well, but Rory prevailed. So the form that he had last week seems to be holding up. That he's in a very very strong position to win another major. I think he has 4 majors as far as I know, and so Rory will be in the mix if he keeps his form, as I say, if nothing unforeseen happens. That can happen in golf, as we know. But right now, as we speak, and it's coming up to 9 p.m. here on SportsView here, 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And I see that Morikawa is -5. He's still, he didn't go out yet. And Damon is -5. They're just about starting their own now as we speak. Yes, they are. But Scotty Scheffler is -4 after 3. John Ram from Spain is -4 after the first hole. And Burns is -3. Rory McIlroy is -3 after 2 holes, so he's doing steady. Matt Fitzpatrick from Britain is -2 after 6 holes, and Seamus Power is on level par. That's Seamus Power, one of the golfers that we were following here on the show from the get go. Seamus Power, he's level par. He needs to. He's on the 12th hole, so he needs to pick up probably two more shots to finish -2 or 3 to, well, let's say, to have a little challenging position for tomorrow. Dustin Johnson is +1 after 12. I see that, And another golfer we were keeping an eye on was Jordan Spieth. Now, Jordan Spieth is finished his round. He finished with a 71. So Jordan Spieth is at +3 for the tournament. Disappointing enough, really, That puts him 8 behind with the 2 leaders at -5 at the moment. And there's no doubt if they pick up a few, he'd be too far behind to have a meaningful, I suppose, a meaningful shot at it. Another one of the golfers, we just picked out these to have an interest, was Adam Scott from Down Under. Adam Scott, of course, is finished as well. He's finished his round. He had a 72 today. So Adam Scott is a +4, which I don't think that he'll make any meaningful charge up to the leaderboard, as I said. But these were just ones that we kept an eye on, And as I said, the rest of them, Justin Thomas, I don't know where Justin Thomas was. If I'm on Justin Thomas, the last time I looked, he was at +2. And just thinking there, yes, he was at +3 the last time I looked, Justin Thomas, that is. And he's at +4 at the moment on the 12th hole. So it's all going pear-shaped for those golfers. So we had picked out, we probably put the hex on a lot of them. But anyway, as I said, the 2 leaders are just on the course now. And so it'll be midnight, 1:45, 10 to 1 in the morning before the final, our time, that is Irish time. So look, we wish them all well, that is, and we'll come back to that later on. Now, as I said, we covered the hurling later on, earlier on in the show, just to give you a rundown. We'll take some action shots from that later on, from both the Cork-Galway quarter-final in hurling which played today. Galway won that by a point, and we'll have also action from the, what's the word I'm looking for, from the Clare-Wexford match, which Clare prevailed in. So you have Clare, you have 2 Munster teams and 2 Leinster teams competing. You have Galway against Limerick in the semi-final, and as a result of today, and we have also Clare and Kilkenny in the other semi-final. Now, obviously, if you want to contact us in here in the studio, the information has just gone up there for you. info@learmedia.tv is our email. Send us in your details and your comments. If you want to come on the show, we'll send you a link out to your email. Click on the link and you're into the studio to talk about anything you like. Now, obviously, we're keeping an eye on a few of the sporting events that are going on tonight. One of them is the Major Classic. And at the moment, we have Cup Show from the United States of America, -15. Nelly Corda at -12. and then Minji Lee and Lexi Thompson at -11, and then Lydia Ko and Leona Maguire at -10. There are quite a few more in between. They're just the highlights from our point of view. We're keeping an eye, obviously, on Leona Maguire because, well, she's from Ireland, she's from Cavan, and doing very well indeed, and we wish her well. We wish them all well, but of course we'll have a little bias towards Leona, as I said there. Now, also, we're going to, I suppose, crank up and have a look at how the scores are going on the doors for the US Open golf. And if you just bear with me now for a minute, I'll just go back to the picture to the golfer here, and we'll be covering tennis later on as well. The grass court tournaments that are popping up before Wimbledon, and some update news of more withdrawals from Wimbledon. But at the moment, as this week, Morikawa and Damon are -5, and Scotty Scheffler and John Ram are at -4. Burns, Handley, Hostler, McIlroy, and Buckley are at -3. And Rory's only on the second hole. So it's a long evening ahead for us here in Ireland to be watching that, Seamus Power is still even par on the 12th hole, so he's six more to play there, So we'll see how it goes, Scotty Scheffler has dropped the shot. He's on the 4th hole, so he's gone back to 4 under. So we have Morikawa sitting on top on his own at -5. And obviously, Rory is just 2 off the lead. That's Rory McIlroy. And our own Seamus Power is now at, what's the word I'm looking for? Even par after 12. Seamus, we want to get more action from Seamus, and we'll see after that. But info@media.tv is our email. Now, you're with myself, Pat Barney, on SportsView, and I suppose, as I said, we covered the tennis over in Wimbledon, over in England. They have their grass courts competition on there at the moment. That is over in Britain, and they're the warm-up tournaments that they have every year for the pre-Wimbledon tournaments that are held. And I suppose it's just for people. I mean, it's a limited, it's very expensive actually to go to Wimbledon anywhere. So, I mean, these warm-up tournaments in Nottingham, Birmingham, and Eastbourne next week are a chance for people, only punters who are around the place, to have a look at their heroes in tennis, for the ladies and the men's. So, at the moment over in England, the Queen's Club, the men are playing, and Matteo Berrettini has qualified for the final against Kranknovich, and he beat Marian Cilic in the semi-final. So it's Kranknovich versus Berrettini tomorrow in the men's final in the Queen's Club. And in the ladies, up there in Birmingham, Bencic beats, in the German Open, I should say, I beg your pardon. Bencic beats Sakari in the semi-final in the German Open. And Jabeur, who, in my opinion, could be a dark horse and worth a few euros on her in Wimbledon. She beat Goff from America in the semi-final. So Jabeur is holding form, and she's playing Bencic. Also, we heard today that Naomi Osaka has withdrawn from Wimbledon because she's having Achilles problem, So I didn't read that in depth, but it's a shame to see such a talent as Naomi Osaka. She's a fabulous player, fabulous tennis player. We won't see her in Wimbledon, I'm afraid. And next week, in the men's side of the draw, obviously Djokovic will be one of the favourites to win it. Berrettini, I think, would be very well fancied. And Nadal has said he intends to compete. We'll see that now next week, how he'll get on, because he'll be playing an exhibition tournament. And I think he'll make a final decision after that. Then that's next week. So we'll see. Hope he competes, because he's always exciting to watch. Even if he's not going to be fully fit, he's always exciting to watch. That is Rafael Nadal. You're with myself, Pat Barry, here on Lermedia.tv on Sports View, and this is our new sports program. We're going to go out as live as often as we can now, just to get used to the thing as well, and also that give you the punter an opportunity to see that how simple it is to join in the discussion. And we want you to join in the discussion, so you can email us anytime, info@theirmedia.tv. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget to ring the bell. Don't forget to press the red button to subscribe to our channel. And the bell is ringing for you to give us a like. Tell all your friends about us, as many as you can. It's up on all our channels tonight, on most of them, on my Facebook page, on Mary Hone's Facebook page, on Twitter. It's also up on our YouTube channel. So you have no excuse for not looking in and give us a like. And indeed, joining in as well, and tell all your friends about us. Now, just hopping back there to the Mejur Classic under the auspices of the LPGA. At the moment, Kupko from the United States, who was leading, is still leading at -16 after 8 holes. Nelly Corda is just a shot behind her after 8 holes, and great to see Nelly. Lydia Ko has gone to -12 after 17, and Minji Lee is -13 after, or -11 after 13 holes. And Henderson, she's a very exciting player from Canada. She's joined her now on -11, as well as Lexi Thompson, who is at -11 as well. Lexi is after 9 holes. She's going around the turn, as they say. And Kerr is finished. She finished with a 65, which is a and she's Christy Kerr. She's finished at -10, and Nomura from Japan finished with a 65 as well. She's at -10, as well as Leona Maguire, who's at -10 after 13 holes. So she's 5 more holes to play, and we hope she might pick up another shot or two, which will put her in a good position for the final round tomorrow. So, Mon Leone, get a few birdies, and we'll still cheer for you. And Jessica Corda after 12 is at -10 as well, you know. They're a fantastic family, the Cordas. You have Nelly and Jessica, the two girls in the family, who are competing at the highest level in golf. And then you have their brother, Peter Corda, who's doing very well in the tennis, very, very well in the tennis as well, young. And in Nordquist, of course, the Evergreen is at -10 as well. She's doing very well as well, as I said, you know. And then, well, down the field, all your names down the field, right down to, I suppose, Hataoka from Japan. She's a fantastic golfer. She's won quite a bit on the Asian Tour, but she's at -5 after 15 holes. She'd be another one that would have been fancied at the beginning of the tournament, but she is a long way off the pace now, because -5 and -16. Well, you can make up the match yourself on that. It's a little bit too much for her to make up, in my opinion. I don't think she'd be able to do that myself. It's going to be very, very difficult for her. But we wish her well. We hope she will, you know. And what was I going to say? We're going to bring you some action now later on, now from the hurling, for people who like that kind of thing. I suppose, being philosophical about it, all I can do as a Cockman is to look forward to next year and wish him the best. Cup of tea now. But before we get on to that, we're going to take a bit of action now from the first quarterfinal that was on today, and that was between Cork and Galway. And really, from my point of view as a Corkman, disappointment is my lot again with the way things turned out. But look, what can you do? What can you do? I don't know. But anyway, we'll take the Clare Wexford match first, and and hope you enjoy that.
Towards McDonald once again. Been marked in there by Conor Cleary, taken instead here by Lee Chin. The Wexford captain made a little space for himself. We'll see. Liam Ryan from the short puck out for Wexford. Bad one, straight as far as Shane O'Donnell. And O'Donnell from outside the 65-metre line, hit with accuracy from that puck out. Coming out to take this one, a very determined Tony Kelly, anxious to make up for the misses from Freeze. That's from open play. Without his hurley there is Liam McGovern. Got it forward as far as Oisin Foley. Foley looking at the post. He got the last one. He's got another one, I think. Beautiful score by Oisin Foley. Back into the action again. Nicely down there towards Galvin. Ian Galvin. Fancying it. Might make it as well. Close run thing. He's got it. Back as far as DOK, looking around, seeing where Devian Reck is. The 23-year-old looks up at the target at the Killiney end and has a go. Now it's Malone. Down here racing to get it is Ian Galvin. Point scorer already from nearly 65 metres out from his target. At half-time they're level. It's Clare 10 points, it's Wexford 1-7. End result is going to be a Clare line ball. Movement ahead, Kelly takes down there as far as Dermot Ryan. Ryan letting it off, very acute angle. What about that? Eivor Quilligan hitting it straight down through the centre. Up goes Paddy Foley, bats it down, and waiting for it is Tony Kelly, and gives it back with interest. Mark Fanning has had a couple of long-range frees. Again, the aim here will be to lob it right in there, dangerously in there, and anything could happen. It does! O'Keefe then laying it out here, and it's completed by Simon Donoghue. Down into the square again it comes. Chin once more. There might have been a doubt the first time. There is no doubt the second time. Conor Malone has hit it to the one place where perhaps he wasn't intending, but now it has worked out, because that's Aaron Shanahan who has just gone in, and Aaron Shanahan might well make a difference. That's lobbed in. It's dropped on the line. How did it stay out? It's gone in! It's gone in! Clare looking to cement their place in the semi-finals. Something that looked most unlikely at many stages during the afternoon. But now Tony Kelly, Clare now looking to hold it on up there. And they might do so, and they might even do a little bit more, because Aaron Shanahan has it. Scorer of a goal and a point. And that is fantastic work by Shanahan. Clare 124. Wexford 3 goals and 14 points.
Well, there you go. That was Clare having a fantastic win over Wexford there today, and really, I think that all credit due to Clare, and all credit due to the management on the line and the selectors. I think they brought on Aaron Shanahan there, and Aaron Shanahan, what's the word I'm looking for? Aaron Shanahan did the biz. He got a goal and 2 points for Clare, and really and truly, I mean, they were just superb. I mean, Wexford, credit Wexford as well. I mean, it was a heartbreak for them, for Wexford. But anyway, there you go. SportsView is a program here on learnmedia.tv that you're watching, and tell all your friends about us. And some messages now from the studio. Okay, we're still welcome back after the messages over, and don't forget to ring the bell again and give us a like, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love you to do so. We want to get up to 1,000 subscribers, and please give us a like and give us a subscribe to our channel. We'll be only too delighted to have you. And indeed, also, and it's very easy to join in the show. All you have to do is click info@learnmedia.tv. That's our email, info@learnmedia.tv. And you can use that email as well if you want to come in and join in with us here on the discussion on our show. And also, if you want to participate, it's the same email for everything, info@learnmedia.tv. Tell all your friends about us. And we're here we'll probably be here a couple of nights of the week, but as soon as the schedule is solidified and a few more people can give commitments to different times and days, we will post all the information up on our YouTube channel, up on our Facebook pages, up on our Twitter account, and all of that. You're going out live here tonight on this Saturday night, the 18th of June. And well done. We're congratulating Clare and Galway on the win today. And progress on now to the All Ireland semi finals, where there'll be a supreme battle between Mr. Kiley and Mr. Shefflin, Galway versus Limerick. And in the other semi final, Mr. Cody and Mr. Lohan on the other side. That's Clare versus Kilkenny on the other side. I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to them anyway. Our domestic soccer is continuing here in Ireland. We have our Premier Division, and we also have Division 1. And the local team here, where we're broadcasting from Limerick, that's Treaty United, are now playing this is their second year out, and they're doing very well, really. They just missed out on promotion last year, but I think it's another good year for Treaty in the Division 1 to solidify and maybe improve the squad, or what I'm looking for is to maybe increase the number of people and make the squad bigger and more resilient. That's only my opinion. We want yours as well, of course. Now, in the Premier Division last night, we had Dundalk beat the long-time leaders, Shamrock Rovers 1-0, so they're closing. Derry City drew 1-1 with Drogheda. That was a good result for Drogheda. Bohemians beat Shelbourne in the local derby. Damien Duff, of course, as you know, he's doing a relatively good job with Shelbourne. I mean, Bohemians are an excellent, a fantastic side, and they'll be in the shake-up thereabouts. And Shelbourne, after shaky start, I know it was a bit of a setback to beat 1-0, but it's no disgrace to go down. And it was a very tight match as well, by all accounts. And St. Patrick's Athletic beat UCD 2-1 in the Premier. Then moving over to the First Division, where Wexford beat Cove Ramblers 3-0. And I think those two teams will be battling all the rest of the year for at the wrong end, unfortunately, of Division 1. And Galway United went up Bray, and they beat Bray 5-1. So Galway at the moment, Galway are flying high. They are raging hot favourites to get back up to the Premier Division. Also, there's a lot of investment going into the club. John Caulfield is the manager there. John, who had such a fantastic time with Cork City and great success. And themselves and Cork are the two strongest teams in the First Division. Cork weren't playing last night. Treaty United here in Limerick had a fantastic win over at Lone Town. They had 2-1. They beat at Lone Town in the local soccer. So, I mean, a marvellous win for them. And it was great to see. Now, getting back to the hurling, there was very sad news today on the hurling front. One of the real heroes of Tyrone hurling, and indeed would grace any hurling team with distinction and flair and all of that, was Damien Casey, aged 29. He died in an accident out in Spain, and it was a huge shock, not alone for his family, obviously, and the hurling of Tyrone, but he was just such a wonderful human being as well. And there was many tributes today on the different programs I was listening to, and for anybody who had the chance to see him playing his club and county, he was just superb. And the teams around in the Lowry Maher now will be looking at the team sheet, and if Damien Casey was on, they had to plan in a different way to overcome them. If Damien happened to be injured or anything, which he rarely was anyway, then they'd be a lot more relaxed playing Tyrone. But that was Damien Casey, unassuming, really nice guy, and we sympathise wholeheartedly with his family and the wider hurling community as well. And keeping the flag flying for hurling in Tyrone, Damien was centre to all of that, front and centre to all of that, and he'll be an incalculable loss to the hurling fraternity in in Tyrone, and indeed to the wider hurling community as well, you know. But I yesterday go ever on them. Well, there you go. That was our messages there. Ring the bell, give us a like, and then don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We're looking for you to subscribe. We're looking for 1,000 views on the channel, and as subscribers to the channel. And really, please do so. We'd be only delighted. And tell all your friends about us, and tell them to tell all their friends the same thing, and tell them to tell all their friends to tell all their friends everything else as well. Also, to subscribe to our channel, and you can do that easy. And also, if you want to join in the show, you can see there coming up on the screen that our email is info@learnmedia.tv, info@learnmedia.tv for all your comments. And indeed, if you want to join in here in the studio with me, myself, anytime, you just send us your email. We'll send you the link. You click on the link, and hey presto, you're in the studio to chat about whatever is on your mind, sporting wise, indeed. So info@learnmedia.tv is our email. Now we're going back to the US Open, to the golf. And of course, I mean, obviously we have Seamus Power and Rory McIlroy now in relatively, I suppose, in contention. And there's no doubt about it that McIlroy has held his form from last week after winning the RBS, what's the word I'm looking for? The RBS Canadian Open, which he won again. And now I must say that it's hotting up here at the moment, really and truly. All I can say about this, I mean, it's going to be an exciting night, and this third round is always just jostling for position. Wise of the United States, Murakami of the United States are still -5 after the hole 4 and 2 respectively. Scotty Scheffler is -4 after 5 holes, as well as Dahmen, who's -4 after 2 holes. And then you have John Ram as -3 after 3. Matt Fitzpatrick, who was up there, is -2 after 7. Rory McIlroy is -2 after 4. And indeed, Seamus Power must have heard us, because we were just remarking earlier on about Seamus that we wanted him to get the finger out and get down to a couple of minuses before he's finished on hole 13, and he's gone to -1. Nice to see Seamus. Another 2 or 3 birdies now, and you'll give us something to shout about tomorrow. That's Seamus Power, you know. And also young Hadwin. He had a very good Scottish or a very good Canadian Open, Hadwin, and I like the look of him. I hadn't seen him before because I don't follow a whole lot of golf, but I was watching the RBC Canadian Open, and I thought he was very, very good thing. Dustin Johnson, who's nearly always contending. Dustin Johnson is +1 after 14. I'm just picking out a few golfers who we were keeping an eye on. And of course, Jordan Spieth has finished his round, and he finished at Jordan Spieth finished at +3. We were keeping an eye on this, and really, and Justin Thomas, I think really he's having a terrible time of it. He's on the 13th hole. He's +4, and I think he shot his boat as regards contending for it. Anyway, Adam Scott, who we're keeping an eye on as well, you know, Adam Scott is at +4 for the tournament as well, and he shot a 72, and I said Justin Thomas is 13, and Bruce Koepka, who I thought might do something, Bruce Koepka, but unfortunately he's +5 after 11, and Bryson DeChambeau, I always liked Bryson DeChambeau, but really he's a wild man. And I mean that in the funny sense. And he shot a 76 today, and I think he's +8 for the tournament. So I'm afraid Bryson tomorrow will be just a practice round for Bryson around the place because of +8. There ain't no way back for Bryson. Looking at these, and you don't have to be an expert in golf to know that to make up 16, 14, or 15 shots. Well, really, no, I think the I don't think it's in him to do that. You know, I mean, he could shoot a 60, which would be 10 under, but really, it's unlikely. Anyway, we're just wishful thinking. That's the US Open Championship there, and Rory is 3 off the lead. And we see Rory McIlroy, he's on the 4th hole only, so he's only beginning his round. So we'll come back to Rory again later on in the show. Now, as you know, the other tournament that we're watching is the Major Classic over in the United States, and that is under the auspices of the USPLGA, the ladies' game, and over in the Major Classic. And of course, we have an Irish interest in that, is Leona Maguire. She's from Cavan and is doing very well in professional golf and making a decent living out of it. And she's doing a good fist of reserve, made a good fist of the tournament. That's Leona Maguire. Kupko is still leading on -17. Nelly Corda's on -15 at on the 9th hole. She's at the turn now. Lydia Ko has finished. Lydia Ko is always contending. You know, she's a fantastic Australia. Lydia Ko. She finished with a 65, and she's finished at -13. And Minji Lee, who is also from Australia, Minji Lee, she's on the 15th hole. She's -12. She's doing very well. And excuse me, Lexi Thompson on -12 as well on the 12th hole. So Lexi has 5 or 6 more holes to make up a few more shots. Young Henderson from Canada is on the 10th hole, and she's -11. And Leona is -10 after 15. So she has, that's 15, isn't it? Yeah, 15 holes. So she has 3 more to do. She might be coming out of the board there too, which would be great. And Nordqvist from Sweden is on -10 as well. And Jessica Corda, Nelly's sister, is on -10 after 13. And Brittany Lincecum, who's finished with a 69 on -9. And she's expecting, so I think she's pregnant at the moment. So she's doing well anyway. And at -9. So she'll be in for a good payday, as they say. But there's a few down the line that I'm surprised that they're not contending. But we'll come back to that later on. We'll come back also to the Formula One to give you up to date. But at the moment, in the US Open Golf, Rory's only just started 2 or 3 holes. He's 3 shots. He's -2, -5 is leading it. So we'll come back to them later on in the show. Now, obviously, we had a look at some of the updates on the Formula One. Formula One is over in Canada this weekend. And as I say, everyone is there. The top 20, 22 drivers are there. And really, the weather was very inclement today. I saw some pictures of it raining, pretty heavy rain as well, you know, on the thing. But we hope to bring you up to date. I think there's an up to date coming in very soon, and we will give you that up to date. If anybody has any suggestions for the program at any time, there's no doubt about it. If you have any suggestions for the show, you know what to do. There's our email, info@bearmedia.tv. You send in your information on that if you want to participate in the show, and we'll send you the link, and you can come right into the studio and participate anytime on the show. Also, as well, you can send us in your comments and all, and we'd be delighted with that as well. Now, obviously, thank you, Emma, my daughter. Thank you, Emma, for the thumbs up, and very much appreciated. And hello to Emma and Rory, Nia, and Jamie, and of course Archie. Archie is the new addition to the family there. The lovely little dog that they have, Archie. Hope you're watching, Archie, and hope you're enjoying it as well. So don't forget to, I suppose, what's the word I'm looking for? Have a look at our email, info@bearmedia.tv is our email, and stand by for these. That was just messages there, by the way, to give me a chance to finish my cup of tea. There you go. You have to do something. You have to invent yourself a place. But anyway, there's our email on the show there. The bell was ringing to give us the likes, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well. Now, obviously, the up-to-date positions I sent you before we went there, and I said, there's our email and thing. If you want to join the show, please feel free to do so. And there you go. You have no excuse for not joining in now. The Formula One over in Canada, the up-to-date qualification for the Gilles Villeneuve circuit on the 18th of June. Now, Fernando Alonso is in pole, which really fair play to him. Verstappen is in the front row of the grid as well on number 2 position. Sainz is number 3. In the fourth position in qualifying is Ocon. In the 5th there was Valerie Bottas. Then you have young Russell from Russell and Hamilton 6 and 7. Perez 8. Albon 9, and Michael Schumacher finished in 10th place, and the rest of them are down the field. I'm just looking what's his name is going very well this morning, but Vettel, but he's finished in 17th, and so there you go. So the top 6: Alonso, Verstappen, Sainz, Ocon, Bottas, Russell, Hamilton, Perez, Albon, and Michael Schumacher. They're the top 10 for the Canadian Grand Prix tomorrow. I don't know what the weather forecast is for that. I have no idea what it is. We'll look it up later on, but that's the Canadian Grand Prix for you tomorrow. Now, obviously, we touched briefly earlier on rugby union early on, and I suppose in the playoff for the Premiership today, that's the Gallagher English Premiership, to give it its proper name, the Gallagher Premiership, to give it its correct name. Leicester Tigers. Leicester beat Saracens at 15-12, and in the fine. Good evening, Patrick Joseph O'Toole out there on Shannon. Hope you're doing well, Joe, tonight. Hope it's nice and fine for you. You're enjoying the evening out there as well. And don't forget, by the way, lads, to send us an email, info@theirmedia.tv. If you want to contact the show, you can do so by info@theirmedia.tv. It'll come straight into the studio. And if you want to join in, you can use that email as well. Send us your information. We'll send you the link. And hey presto, you're in the studio. You can be a star like anybody else. I'm only joking. There's only one star on this show, surely. And they haven't been to the studio yet. Now, let's get back to the rugby. The English Premiership was decided today, as I said, and Leicester Tigers won. They beat Saracens 15 points to 12. And in the United Rugby Championship, where we had the Stormers and the Bulls, they had beaten Leinster and Ulster respectively in semi-finals. So I thought the Bulls would do it, but the Bulls were beaten by the Stormers. 18-13 was the final score of that, and the United Rugby Championship was decided by the two South African teams. Now there's a playoff semi-final in the top 14 as well over there in France, and La Rochelle were beaten there last week in that. But Montpellier at the moment are leading the Bordeaux Beagles by 13 points to 10. And you can catch all that later on in the show. And Lear Media TV is the company up there on the top right hand side. SportsView is our program here. We're going out on all our channels tonight, live on Facebook, on Twitter, and on our YouTube channel as well. So thank you for the comments and the encouragement, and it's very much appreciated. And as I said, thank you for joining us as well. And don't forget that our email is info@theirmedia.tv for all your comments, and indeed if you want to join in as well, info@theirmedia.tv. As I said, we'll keep you up to date on the golf as well. The golf will still be going on till probably 1 in the morning our time here. It's now coming up to 9:35 p.m. on Saturday, 18th of June, here in Ireland, Greenwich time. Now, as the golf, the US Open, the major that's going on at the moment in Brookline in Massachusetts, it's hotting up a bit. As I say, we're keeping an eye on that during the evening as well. We're keeping an eye on the ladies' golf as well, the Major Classic as well. We're going to keep an eye on that. And there's no doubt about it that Leona Maguire is doing well. She's in giant fourth or fifth in there, which is fantastic to see, And I'm just, I'd love to see her winning it, obviously, and I hope she does. I'd love to see her win it. Now, there you go. There are messages there, and the bell is ringing for you to give us a like. The bell is ringing, and also to subscribe to our channel over there as well. I said we're going to go back to what's the word I'm looking for? We're going to go back and check out our menu here in the golf and to see how it's going. And one of our screens is down, so I'm just relying on a smaller screen here. Normally we'd have two, and I could look over at the screen and see how it's going, but I have to check it in the smaller screen if you follow my drift. But I'm sure you're very patient anyway. And I think on what's the word I'm looking for? Rory McIlroy. Morikawa is leading. He's top of the pile at -5 after 3 holes. And Scotty Scheffler now is up to -4 after 7, and Damon and Moyes are -4 after 5 and 3. And Matt Fitzpatrick now is up to -3 after 8 holes. Matt, he's good form as well in the Canadian Open. So I mean, really, if he gets a run, he'll get a good run. John Ram is up to -3 after 4 holes, and McIlroy is -2 after 5. Steady golf, just steady as she goes as well. And wait for your chance, and they'll come. Hadwin from Canada is up to -1. And Seamus Power is back now to, I'm just looking at, what's he at? Seamus Power is back up to, what's the word? Seamus Power, even par after 14. And there you go, Seamus Power. And I'm just looking at the rest of them here. Well, we won't read them down because you'll get bored of it, but you can look at them there yourself. And we'll do a recap now in a few minutes of the headlines across the different sports in case you missed it at the top of the show. So we're here since 8:30. We'll be here probably tomorrow evening as well, but we'll let you know that tomorrow anyway in time, But anyway, as I said today, we'll be filling you in later on. But as I said, Matt Fitzpatrick from just across the way said he'd be, to me, I'd fancy him a bit now, this Matt Fitzpatrick, because he really has good form coming into it. There's no reason why he couldn't win his first major or go a long ways in it, because he is doing well, great temperament, and who knows what's going to happen at the end of the round. They're only starting off, so what do they say? What time is it now? It's 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30 Irish time tonight. The picture will be brighter, sharper. John Ram up to -3 after 4 holes, doing well. Another man that would McIlroy still at -2 after 5. So there you go. So Morikawa is top of the pile at -5 on the show here. And I'm going to do a recap. We're going to do a full recap on what we are. We were following, just to finish with the golf, we were following 2, 4, 6. We're following 8 golfers from the beginning of the show on SportsView. We picked out their personal choice of SportsView. We picked out, they'll tell you how much we know about golf, but we had Rory McIlroy, Adam Scott, Shane Lowry, Seamus Power, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Phil Mickelson, and Kevin Na. For no particular reason other than they all have their own foibles and mannerisms as well that make them exciting from different points of view to watch. So obviously Shane Lowry, very, very disappointing that he didn't stay around for the weekend. He missed a cut, 4 over. Phil Mickelson, something about 11 or 12 over, but Phil we didn't expect him to be on. Kevin, surprised he didn't make the weekend either. Kevin didn't make the weekend. So of the ones that are left, Rory is, well, he was -40, but he's -2 now. And Adam Scott is +4. Seamus Power is even par, and Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth is +3 in the US Open. And we'll just after these messages, we'll do a full recap on what we're doing, and then we'll take it. There's no excuse now. The bell is after ringing there to give us a like, and also to, what's the word I'm looking for, to subscribe to our channel. SportsView is a channel, and SportsView will be coming to probably a couple of evenings a week anyway, as soon as we get settled in properly. But as I said, we're using a fantastic new streaming service by the name of StreamYard. Check it out, and it's very, very good. Very good. It's very easy to use, even for someone like myself, who would have, I suppose, misgivings about stuff like that, be nervous about it really. Because I have a good controller behind us here, Mary. Fair play to her. She has done all this design work for the channel, and it's just fantastic. There's no doubt about it. Her design work is just marvelous, and it makes everything worthwhile. It makes everybody's job easier with that dedication behind the show. And thank you again. Just recap today. What happened locally here today is the two All-Ireland senior hurling quarterfinals are played today in Thurles. Very disappointing crowd, in my opinion. There, from Galway, Cork, Wexford, and Clare. So in the first match at 1:45, Galway and Cork were playing. As a Corkman here, bitterly disappointed that Cork lost. No surprise, though. I was not surprised that they lost. Galway 219, which is 25 points. Cork 121, which is 24 points. But really, in truth, they were behind from the get-go. The first speculative shot our goalkeeper got, he left the ball fall into his own net. So there you go. From then on, literally from then on, they were behind. The forwards were ineffective. Some of the backs were extremely nervous. Two backs stood out for me in the Cork match. That was Damien Cahalane, the much maligned Damien Cahalane, and young Joyce at centre back. What a future he has. Hope he stays with it. They can build a new team around some of them, like Joyce and Fitzgibbon and people like that. Cadigan came on, Alan Cadigan did well rising on from the start. I don't know. I mean, really. Anyway, and that was the first match between Cork and Galway ran out to the semi-final, where they will meet Limerick in the semi-final, in the All-Ireland semi-final. And really, I think Limerick would be favourites to win that, and that's not because Galway beat Cork, because I think Galway haven't up to much anyway. They're a poor team. The second quarter-final was played between Wexford and Clare. Now, Clare, people are saying Clare had a surprise package. There's no surprise package anyway in those about hurling. Clare always had good hurlers over recent years. And it was just a question of organisation, getting them to play. Brian Lohan has done a fantastic job with that team. There's no doubt about it. Under the radar, no fuss, no headlines, no angst, no drama, no nothing like that. Get on, get them solid. You have 6 backs, 6 forwards, and 2 midfields, and the goalkeeper. It's not rocket science. It's only 15 against 15. Brian proved that. The team proved that. They are just fantastic as a team. And when you consider Wexford really put it up to them today, the final score was Clare 124. Wexford 314, so that was 25 scores from Clare and 17 from Wexford. It doesn't tell the whole story. Clare brought on young Shanahan from Shannon, and he got a goal and 2 points. And young Meehan got 2 points. He got a goal and 4 points after bench. What do we, when you look at the Cork Galway match? Really and truly, I don't know really what's going on in Cork hurling, but anyway. Clare will be playing Kilkenny now in the other semi-final. Who knows, lads? You could have another Clare Limerick Classic All-Ireland final. And not disparaging or take anything away from Galway or Kilkenny, but I would love to see an All-Ireland final between Clare and Limerick. It would be just fantastic, would be marvellous, you know. I think it would anyway. That's just me, you know. And if you want to make any commentary on the show, our email is info@theirmedia.tv, as you can see down the screen. And if you want to come in and say hello to us in the studio, you can come in, send us your email, send us your details. We'll send you the link, and you can click and come into the studio anytime you want. So that's info@theirmedia.tv. Now, also, we brought to you we'll be talking about the Canadian Grand Prix. It's now finished, the thing, and Verstappen is up in front row. He's in second place for the grid. I mean, he's having a fantastic year, and he's champion, and has really, really solidified his position at the top of this game. So he'd be favoured now to win the Canadian Grand Prix in Formula One tomorrow. Also, then you had the Premiership soccer here in Ireland last night, and you had Division 1 and Division 2. And in the Premier Division, you had Dundalk beat Shamrock Rovers 1-0, which I really, was surprising in one way. They beat them 1-0. Also, Derry drew with Drogheda 1-1. Good result for Drogheda. Bohemians beat Shelbourne, very tight match, very close match, 1-0. Shelbourne, of course, is managed by the good old Duffer, Damien Duff, and he's doing well there. Great excitement in the club, and I think that they're building back. You'd never know what would happen down the line. St. Patrick's Athletic then in the other match played in the Premier Division beat UCD 2-1. Now getting into Division 1, there were 3 matches in Division 1, and Cork City weren't playing last night, but Cove Ramblers went down to Wexford 3-0 in scoreline. Don't say they went down to Wexford, they were beaten by Wexford 3-0. Galway United had a facile win over Bray 5-1. And Treaty United here in Limerick, who were unlucky, I suppose, in the playoffs last year, but anyway, they won against Athlone Town. They beat them 2-1. So they did very well as well as Treaty United. And they're going well. Hopefully they've solidified themselves now and strengthened the squad as well, which is all important, and push on. They have a small bit of ground to make up, but maybe can do. Galway United and Cork City are the 2 teams that are expected to come up out of that, and Dint is between a few more after that. Anyway, Galway United, a lot of investment gone into the club up there in Galway, and they're being managed by John Caulfield, who was good form in the League of Ireland. That's John Caulfield, so doing very well there. That's Galway United, and as I said, they beat I think they beat Bray Wanderers 5-0, and really they're a good team. They're a good team, a good spirit there, and it's nice to see that as well. And they were the Division 1 and the Premier Division scores, and we had the G. Also, as I said, the Canadian Grand Prix has been decided, the running order, and you can look up that on the website as well. And in tennis, then, I suppose we're the precursor to Wimbledon coming up, the Grand Slam, another Grand Slam. Djokovic would be the favourite. Berrettini is playing at home. He's into the final of the Queen's Club tournament, which is one of the grass court warm-up tournaments for Wimbledon. And Berrettini is playing Kraknovic in the final, who beat Cilic. That's Kraknovic beat Cilic, and Berrettini beat the chap from the Netherlands. I forget his name off the top of my head. But Berrettini is in the final. He's the holder, of course, of it. Looking very well, looking supreme. Great serve, great ground strokes, great movement across the grass, and I think he would be a handful for anybody in Wimbledon. You heard it here first on SportsView. Berrettini would be my tip to win Wimbledon if anything happens to Djokovic or if he doesn't play up to scratch. He'd be one of now, Rafael Nadal has entered as well. His entry still stands on the men's side. He's playing an exhibition next week, so I don't know how he'll go. Really has foot problems, foot troubles. In the ladies in the German Open, a lot of the top ladies playing there, and so you had Bencic, who was a very good player. She beat Shikari in the semi-final today, and she'll be playing Jabour from Tunisia. And Jabour has hold her form. She's a fantastic player, and she's going to win one of the majors very soon. She beat Coco Gauff in the other semi-final. So Jabour, Bencic in the German Open, WTA tomorrow as well. So now we also heard today on the wires, so to speak, that Naomi Osaka has withdrawn from the ladies from Wimbledon, so she won't be participating in Wimbledon. Also, in case you missed the news, Serena Williams, the great, wonderful Serena Williams, has got a wild card entry for Wimbledon. 40 years of age, 23 Grand Slams, she's nothing to prove, one of the all-time greats, but I suppose there's that elusive 24th would bring her level with the great Margaret Court. I don't think it happen for her. I could be all wrong. I don't think she's entering Wimbledon just to turn up. I think she has some level of fitness. What she would have now, I don't know. Will it be good enough for two full weeks of a Grand Slam? I don't know. You never know. You just don't know. Now the ladies, Wimbledon ladies, is wide open because Ashley Barty is retired, and if she was still around, she'd be the favourite for it. And as I said, you have Simona Halep, you have Jabour, you have Bencic, you have a lot of those players. Another player who's doing very well is Harriet Dart from Britain. She's doing extremely well recently. She seems to have taken a step up, if you know what I mean, in her form, a step up in her competitive streak. So she could have a say in the ladies. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Raducanu withdrew again. There's something around her injury. She's still entered for Wimbledon, Raducanu. If she's right, if her head is right, and I think that's where her problems are, in my opinion, because physically she's as strong as any other player when she puts her mind to it. But I don't know. I really don't know what the story is with her. I just hope that everything is okay because she has incredible potential. There's no doubt about that. That's Raducanu. So we're just reprising some of the results from across the sports. And in rugby union, Leicester Tigers won the Gallagher's English Premiership today. They beat Saracens 15-12, in case you missed it. Over then in the URC, the United Rugby Championship, the Stormers beat the Bulls over there in South Africa, and of course they beat Ulster and Leinster respectively in the semi-finals. So it was an all South African affair in the United Rugby Championship, bringing the curtain down. Of course, the Irish rugby team are going on a tour of New Zealand. They'll be playing 3 tests against the All Blacks, and all those tests are on in July. The date you can find out. You can look up on the web pages of the RT Sport website or BBC Sport website, or any of those ESPN websites as well. All the matches will be televised live. You'll be able to watch them live, and they'll all be on at 8:05 in the morning Irish time. 8:05 a.m. Irish time will be on in the morning. They're playing a couple of tests against the Maori All Blacks as well. So all in all, it'll be a tough match. There's 40 players going, 5 new caps in the Irish side. So remains to be seen what's happening there. And just before we finish, we'll just have one more, I suppose, we'll have one more look at the golf, just for keeping an eye on the golf. We have McIlroy and Seamus Power from our neck of the woods in the US Open, and we also have Leona Maguire playing in the Major Classic over there in the United States, and of course. And the US Open, as I'm looking at the clock here, is 21:55. It's 5 to 10. Irish time. And at the moment, 5 to 10. I'm just looking now for Mr. McElroy. Where is he? Mr. McElroy, let's see, where are you? He's gone down to -1 after 6 holes, so the going is tough for Rory. He's -1 and after 6, so he really has a bit of work to do, but it's early show because he's only on the what's he on? He's only on the 6th hole, so he has time to make up. Seamus Power is just a shot behind him. He's on level par on the 15th hole. Top of the pile is Scotty Scheffler now -6 after 8. Morikawa is -5 after 5. Rogers -4 and Miles -4. Matt Fitzpatrick is up to -3 after 9 holes, and John Ram is -3 as well. So really, a lot of a lot of those ones who are fancied would be up there, you know. And the ones that we picked out a few golfers in the beginning, and there's a few still knocking around the place. Adam Scott, of course, we had highlighted him, but he's finished and he's on +4, so really he doesn't have any chance of winning. But you know, he finished with a 72, and we were looking as well at what's his name, Jordan Spieth, and we just picked him out ourselves, and he's finished with a 71, so he finished at +3. So he has a lot of work to do as well tomorrow. And the other golfer we were looking at was Justin Thomas, and I'm delighted to see that he's come back somewhat to the field. You know, Justin Thomas, he's picked up a couple of shots. So Justin is on the 16th hole. He's +2, but really I still feel that he's a bit too far behind. He wants to get into level or -1 to contend, if you follow my drift, for tomorrow. But this man here is all the flavour of the week. He won last week in Canada. That's Rory McIlroy. He's -1 after 6 holes, coming up to 10 o'clock here Irish time. Scotty Scheffler is top of the pile now, and Morikawa is shot behind. Exciting times ahead in the US Open, and the final round obviously is on. Final round is on tomorrow, but this is a good bit to go yet. This won't be finishing till about 12:30 Irish time tonight. That's the what's the word I'm talking about? That's the third round of the US Open. Now over in the ladies in the Major Classic, obviously we're keeping an eye on Leona Maguire in the Major Classic, and Leone from Cavan is doing extremely well. Capuccio is still leading. I mean, she's -17 now. Nelly Carter's -16, and Lexi Thompson's gone up to -14. I like her. I like her attitude. She's a fantastic player as well. Lydia Ko is up to 13 under, and Leone has picked up a shot. She's at -11. So really, she's doing well. Jessica Carter, of course, is at -11, and Nelly is just at -16. But before we finish, we'd like to take the time to thank all of you who took the time to wish us well. We'll be here again tomorrow. We'll let you know what time. But for this edition of SportsView, from myself, Pat Barry, until we meet, tell all your friends about us until we meet again. Don't forget to give us a like and share and ring our bell and subscribe to our channel. Very important. We want to get up to 1,000 subscribers. So from the director and producer and designer of the program, Mary Honan, from myself, till we meet again tomorrow. Take care and bye.